It is an amazing day. You know what? I almost want to switch around this way because it seems like the lighting would be a little bit better this way. Is that better? It's better. I think I like that way a little better. You guys, maybe I'll turn this way. There we go. Lighting is important. Lighting is important. So I hope that you guys are doing well this morning. I figured, what the heck? You guys can hang out with me for a little bit. We're going to be talking a whole lot of true crime. We've got a lot of different topics that are really honing in on our kind of our thought process as we're going through this particular matter. But actually, you know what? I need to go grab I forgot something. Bear with me. And if you guys want to get some little breakfast, get a little breakfast. We're going to have a little something, have some coffee together. So go grab yourself a cup of coffee and a little snack and come back here, and we're going to sit down and hang out for a little bit and go over the Sebastian Rogers case. So just give me just a moment, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know why. Why or how I forgot this. But I forgot my notebook. My notebook has everything. It is the lifeblood. Hey, TD. It's nice to see you, my friend. Nice to see you. Get yourself a cup of coffee. Hey, guys. It's nice to see you guys coming in. You guys are up awfully early. Sonia, Teresa, Nola's mom. It's nice to see you. We're going to have just a little bit. We're going to stuff our face together this morning. I want to introduce you. This right here is really good. I want to show you guys a couple things. Hold on a sec. Before we get started. Okay. Before we get started this morning, you know Olivia was down here. Hey, guys. Oh, hey, Pepper Boyd. It's nice to see you. Pepper, it's nice to see you. Kat and Gabby, it's nice to see you. Jackie, Dawn, Maui Girl, meow, meow, Fortnite Gaming, hey, I'm kind of new, oh good Lord, don't let us run you off, honey, stick around for a while, you might love me, you might hate me, I don't know, I'm a little cray-cray, if you don't know me, I'm Bullhorn Betty. I cover true crime for 2 parts. I like to advocate for victims, I like to advocate for cause. I am, a political activist, and so I like to also craft, use my activism to help craft laws and other things that go across this country. So it's plus we also get out there in the woods and actually search for people. We get from behind the screen. We've been kind of jammed up a little bit for over the car, but the car has been amazing. So, thank God we made it through. And so Olivia and I are, we're starting to get together and plan our next trip. Our next trip is going to be starting out with a different case than Sebastian. It just happens to be that way because we'll be in one area. So we're going to cover that case and then start moving toward Tennessee and then covering our Tennessee cases. Our Tennessee case load will be obviously Sebastian Rogers, Layla Santinello, Summer Wells, and of course we're going to be hitting on Holland Snap, lots of information in there. We'll get you guys to the nitty gritty of that. So before we start, like I said, I wanted to have breakfast with you guys. This right here is the, it's a seedless blackberry jam. I love I don't know where I got the I don't really eat blackberries, but there's something about a jam that I was turned on to about 15 years ago. And so I love blackberry jam, but for whatever reason, I love the seeded blackberry jam, okay? Not very many people have the palate because it's a little more texture. And, but I like the seeded, but I had a crown put in. Seeds are not my friend, okay? So seedless is going to be my new go-to. And I love this. I got this from Cracker Barrel with Olivia, and I'm getting jam all over myself. This right here, holy smokes, folks. It's from Braswell's, and this is their seedless Marion Blackberry Preserve. But listen to this. While I was there, they had buy one, get one free. So I was talking to the lady about the jams, because I'm not going to go and spend $6 on a jam like this unless it's something a little different, right? I can go to Walmart and get a strawberry or a Really? Somebody's in my chat calling me dumb, but they're in my chat at freaking 6:30 in the morning. Oh, thank you. I needed that. Thank you so much. Yeah. I could use that. I love being called dumb when somebody's being dumber than me. That's funny. That is funny. That is hilarious. So anyways, I go there, I get this seated, but this is the one I really want you guys to see. This one was interesting. This one is called red pepper jelly, okay? Now, people would put this on bread. I'm sure there's a lot of people that like a little spice in their life. Unlike Bullhorn Betty. Good morning, Jules. It's nice to see you. But this right here, it's like a spicy, a sweet, but it has a little heat, but not overpowering. Not overpowering, but it's good. This, I could see me cooking with. I have never cooked with a jelly before, but I swear, like I got that better than bouillon, you know, that base. I could see myself cooking with this much like that. You guys have to go get this. This is awesome. And you could put like do something, zhuzh this up and like make it almost a sauce over your like wings, chicken wings. Holy smokes. Yes, we're talking about food first thing in the morning. I know I'm going to make everybody hungry. I never eat this early in the morning, but you know what? I figured we were going to do something a little different this morning. Okay? And I'm going to stuff my face. There you have it. There you have it. All right, guys. So we've got a few people in this morning. It's nice to see you all. And we've been kind of covering this case. Let me just go through here and say hi. I know I said hi to a lot of people, but just in case, Maui girl. Celinda, it's nice to see you. Pam. Here in the UK. Oh, good morning. Good morning. And that's the one thing about coming early is I get the people on the other side. I love pepper jelly. Oh, cream cheese and crackers. That does sound good, CD. I didn't even think about that. I need to go get me some cream cheese. Put the pepper jelly over our cream cheese. So a lot of you guys have the whole cream cheese and pepper jelly. So some of you guys know about this stuff. Olivia and I'm like, we got to come back here and try the jams. And I had the little white crackers. And so Mom and Olivia are here. So I got a knife out and we tested them. Because you can't test them at Cracker Barrel. And I'm like, this lady was talking about this pepper jelly. And I'm like, okay, I got to try this pepper jelly. I've never heard pepper jelly before. And you would think I would from Mayaca City. Maybe they talked about it back in the day. I don't know. But I tried it and it was like, you know, and Mom hates heat. She likes spice and she doesn't mind having a little heat, but as long as it's flavorful, she's like me. And she actually enjoyed it. And she's super picky on heat. So it was a good jelly. And I don't know if they're all made this way, but the one that we got is again the brass wells right here. And we got it from our local Cracker Barrel. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I mean, we very rarely get good jelly, you know, so if I get one, and this is, and like the blackberry, it's almost my favorite. The seeded one's my favorite, but I can't do seeds anymore. So it's almost my favorite. So over the last about 7 or so days, we've really been honing in on Sebastian Rogers' case. We've really identified some key things that we're focusing on, and everything really is focusing on the eve of the 25th into the late morning of the 26th. So we have, I don't know, what is that, 10, about 10 hours. We have a 10-hour window span, which is actually kind of funny because that's the window span I have for Chris and his disappearing act. But there's a few things that we've been focusing on. One of the things is Sebastian physically walking out of the home, you know, trying to see how that could hold water. You know, when you hear a story like this, I think everybody could identify a child running away from home. Many parents have that experience. You can be the best parent in the world. and you have a child run away. Why? Because you're probably the best parent in the world, and your child got pissed off at you for something you've done that you told them they couldn't do because you're a good parent. And that's what parents do. And this can happen in a young, the younger years when they run away from home is a little more cute, because when they're younger, they run to grandma and grandpa's house, and they're going to tell grandma and grandpa, and you're going to get in trouble, So I've had those experiences, and I've had to, come down on my stepdaughter pretty hard a few times, because we don't want the grandkids running away from home, and how dare mommy be mean to them, right? So we had to go correct mommy. And then mommy corrected them. You get it? So I think we've all had experiences of disgruntled children walking out of the home. So the idea that a child walked out of the home, in my opinion, is not earth-shattering to me. It's not earth-shattering to me. It's common. I think majority of our missing children are runaways from a child that was unhappy at home. There are sometimes that children are unhappy at home and run away for good cause. Okay, there's lots going on. Katie's life and upbringing wasn't the best, and I could understand why she would probably want to be out of her household as quickly as possible. And it sounds like that's exactly what she did. So we've been circulating around whether he walked out of the home or how he got out of the home, because he clearly wasn't in the home by the time law enforcement got there. Then we started identifying, what do they need us to believe? Why are they coming to the world in these podcasts? Are they coming here to advocate for Sebastian and have his safe return? Or are they there for self-preservation? They need us to hear something. They need to explain something to us. They need to, provide us their alibi, self-preservation reasons. And since the very beginning, every single one of these interviews seemed to be, even Dutch's very first interview, all seem to be self-preservation interviews. They're talking about them. They're talking about their feelings. They're talking about how people are looking at them sideways. They're the ones that are not going out and searching. They're the ones that are barely doing anything. And then I find out that they threw, after me bitching for 3 solid months, I hear that it's possible that they may have made a contribution to their own son's billboards. A small contribution, by the way. And when I say small, I mean small. Maybe to the rest of us, $500, and that's what I hear. I have not seen the receipt. I have not seen Chris give the receipt that he put $500. I don't know where that $500. And I bet you if he did, he probably called mommy. Mommy, can you give me some money for your piece of shit son? So no contribution, no help, and then finally when they can't look any shittier as parents, they may or may not have provided $500 to go toward billboards. $500. You've got a $700,000 home. You've got probably a $60,000 truck you're driving, an Infiniti that's probably at least, I don't know, $22,000, $23,000, maybe a little more. I don't know what bells and whistles she's got in it. But you know what? I'll say depreciation if I got it off just a little bit. But that pesky old son of yours, that pesky old son, finally, after 3 months, might be just worth this $500. Katie, did you decide not to put that $500 down on your motorcycle? Did you have a little extra spending money for your boy? I'm just curious. Just curious. If I sound a little snarky, probably because I'm snarky. I would say excuse me, but I don't want to be excused, quite frankly. So we have dogs going in cages when they don't normally go in cages. We have 3-hour conversations when there's not normally 3-hour conversations. We have a mom that's emphatic about her need and will to tell us that she went to bed at midnight, that she was asleep only 13 minutes after she called her husband, and he had to scream in the phone to wake her up. Hey, Katie! You need to wake up! Can you hear me, Katie? Wake up! You gotta put the dogs away, Katie! You need to make sure you're in bed by midnight! You need to make sure you're in bed by midnight! You need to make sure you're in bed! Go to sleep! Go to sleep! Go to sleep, Katie! Go to sleep! You need to go to sleep! You need to be asleep by midnight. You can't make this stuff up. Well, just to be crystal clear, I want to be fully transparent because law enforcement has already confirmed this. We were on the phone for a significant amount of time, and she called me about 9:43 to 9:46. They felt guilty about that conversation. They were called out by law enforcement about that, I guarantee it. Because he wanted to be crystal clear. Crystal clear Chris. Crystal clear Chris. Don't worry. On my Teespring, we'll have a new crystal clear shirt. But don't worry, I'm gonna make sure I get it from somebody that actually physically took a picture of him, so nobody can claim copyright. So if I don't get a good side of him, I don't get a good side of him. But there is going to be a crystal clear Chris shirt put up on my Teespring account. So once I design it, I'll let you guys know if anybody would like to purchase it. They're more than welcome to purchase it. For profit, the profit does benefit Bullhorn Betty. Okay? So I'm going to be putting a shirt that I designed up on my channel on Teespring. Okay? And I'm pretty sure it'll be cartooned down, so they can't say shit. And it will be for profit. And I want everybody to know it's going to be for profit, so they can suck it. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. Go ahead and make your videos. Go ahead and make your videos, baby. I don't really give a shit. Watch me work. Watch me work. Nobody will tell me what I can and can't do in the United States of America. So, with that being said, new shirts will be available coming up, and I will make sure everybody got a link. Everybody. And they want to try to mess with my cartoon. Go ahead. So, I'll let you know when those are up. Anybody who ever wants to come and shred on my space, okay. I got you. So, now we're going to go over, now who sent this? I know, beautiful. I can't believe I didn't write the name down. Did I not write the name down? Somebody sent me this, and this theory, and I printed it out. It's really good. But when I printed it out, I guess it was just the attachment. And it didn't... Oh, there it is. Let me see what your name is. There it is. I think this is it. Merge. Thank you. Let me write that down. Merge did this. This is actually a well thought out theory. We got about, I don't know, 6 or 7 different emails I'm going to be pulling from for this live this morning. And this is one from Merge. So if you guys like to chat, make sure you tell Merge thank you. She looked like she put a good host of time into this write-up, and very professionally done too. Very, 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 very nice. It makes it. I love this stuff, man. What can I say? We got some good people doing some awesome work here. So Merge, she's got a couple theories here, but I like how she really broke some of this stuff down. So I'm just going to read it verbatim because it's so good. There's no point in me adding or subtracting from it except for talking points. Hey, Deanna, I hope you're doing well. Love your attitude, so blunt and honest. Well, you know what? Let's take their power away. Oh my God, she's selling shirt for profit. Yes, I am. Oh my God. It's like breaking news. Bullhorn Betty makes profit off her work. Yes. Yes, I do. Imagine that. You go to work, you get a check. It's not rocket science. Idiots. Idiots. So I'm just going to flaunt it. Let them oh my God, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And you know what else I'm doing? I travel the country for profit too. You know what else I do? I cover true crime cases for profit. The difference between me is we give those profits back, right? When families come, we send people out. It costs me money to go sit in hotels and fly or drive or go out there and search. It's not easy. It's not cheap. And guess what? You're 100% responsible for those costs. You're 100% responsible if you go out there and get hurt. If I go and break my leg, I'm 100% responsible for my medical expenses. Just saying. For the idiots in the back. Yes, I don't think the difference is what you do with your time and your energy. Do you come from a place of love, and are you trying to help? You know what? Even if I wasn't coming from a place of love or even trying to help, that's like mainstream media pretty much. Who cares? I could still do whatever the hell I want to do. You know why? Because we live in America, the most freest country in the entire world, that tells everybody by Constitution, you can't tell me what to say, what to do, or where to go. So that must suck for all the control freaks out there. I'm uncontrollable. Now you know the truth. Have a great day. Number 1, in my opinion, Sunday evening after returning from dinner, Katie told Sebastian to clean his room. This is interesting and a perspective we have not looked at. Maybe some of you guys have. But we haven't discussed it as a channel topic, I guess would be the best. We heard, let me just preface this. I said I wouldn't do this to you, Merge, and I did it to you anyways here. I have to preface your work, okay? I want to just remind everybody that we heard from Chris that when Sebastian didn't clean his room, they take everything and put it in a garbage bag and throw it away. Do you everybody remember that? Raise your beautiful little hands if you guys remember Chris saying that. I just want to make sure everybody remember that before I get into this. Okay, now that we know that. If you don't know that, that's what happened. He said on an interview that if Sebastian doesn't clean his room, they are such barbaric parents that they throw all his shit away. So, now that we know. Okay. In my opinion, Sunday evening after returning from dinner, Katie told Sebastian to clean his room. Fact. Here's one of the facts. KP has said he was playing in his room. She did say that. She told us, and that was in the Dutch's interview on 3-3, we discussed it, that one of the questions was answered on the Dutch's interview, and it was that Sebastian went to his room after he returned home. Here's another fact. First mention of the noise from his room around 10 p.m. was on March 18th. And that was on my beautiful friend, Chronicle of Olivia's interview with him, which was day 22. She said, I don't care what you're doing in there. Go to sleep. I don't care what you're doing in there. Go to sleep. So those are interesting facts. So now let's go over to number 2. In my opinion, he refused, and the punishment of throwing all of his belongings was applied right down to taking the trash can to the curb. Interesting. We've talked about him taking it to the curb, and we knew that they threw his items in the garbage when he didn't clean his room. But we never put those two things together. And said maybe that was part of his punishment of having to pack up all of his stuff, put it in a garbage, and take it to the garbage can as punishment. We never looked at that. Could it be possible? Yeah, it could be. So let me just redo this number 2 over. In my opinion, he refused, and the punishment of throwing all of his belongings was applied right down to him taking the trash can to the curb. Fact. To our knowledge, The last camera footage was someone taking the trash can to the curb. Fact. It's been said the garbage pickup people stated the can was heavier than usual. Fact. Katie was asked in the first Duchess interview on March 3rd, that was day 7, if Sebastian had any special or favorite toys he played with. Katie said yes. He has a lot of fidget type toys. But when asked if any were missing, she said, well, he plays with paper clips and pennies, and of course I can't tell you if any of those are missing. So where are the toys? Where are all these toys she's talking about? Fact. Per Katie, she was asked if Ellie had any flashlights were missing, if any flashlights were missing. She said Sebastian has one he plays with that she can't find. Did this get thrown out in the garbage with all the toys as well? And I was thinking about that particular fact because when was the last time she saw him with the flashlight? And how do we know that one of these other barbaric actions where they threw all of his stuff in a garbage bag and took it out to the garbage? I wonder if maybe his little flashlight was in that garbage or that time. I mean, how many times did they throw all his shit away from all of his stuff? I need to quit saying the S word. All of his stuff away from the room. You know, when did he? How many times did that happen? Because nobody seems to be talking about how many times that actually happened. Was it one time? Was it 2 times? I mean, he's only been in that home with Chris and Katie for 8 years, which is a little funny. Just so it coincides with the time she divorces Seth. But nobody likes to talk about that. But hey, unsubstantiated claims about Seth and Katie. Hey, let's talk about those all day long. How do we know that the flashlight wasn't thrown out a long time before that? And what can she say to satisfy us that it happened? Now, here's going to get into a little bit different, and then I'll go back up and read some of your comments, and then we'll start getting into some of the other talking points. This is number 3. In my opinion, Sebastian was likely overstimulated from the busy day and got very upset at his mom and lashed out and struck her. Chris Proudfoot states, let me make this crystal clear. I was raised, you don't strike a woman, and I have taught that to Sebastian. You will never strike a woman, period. Question, what happened if he did strike Katie? Note, Chris doesn't have the same ideals about striking a child as we have learned in Nina's 4th wife testimony. There's also some additional information here. It said, also noted in the same Smiley interview shortly after the discussion about cleaning the bedroom, Katie was asked about the accusation from Seth that she physically abused Seth during their marriage. Katie didn't deny it, but stated that was another whole thing that happened back then. That almost sounds like an admission, if you ask me. Chris inserted his opinion and saying, I'm not dragging people through the mud, so what's in your past is in your past, and that really needs to die. Oh, except when it comes to people like us, then you don't mind, huh? In conclusion, and in my opinion, both these adults are capable of causing fatal harm to Sebastian. I don't know if Chris was home and participated or if he simply helped Katie clean up after the fact. I'm hoping Ellie can determine how Sebastian was then removed from the home and where his body is based on camera footage, vehicle logs, phone searches, etc. I believe they are building a case. I absolutely believe they are building a case. Obviously, for the obvious reasons, if this was just a simple runaway child after 90 days, they most likely would have not closed this case, but it would have started collecting dust and going into a filing cabinet. I think we all know the processes of missing children. We saw Rudy Farias, right? Rudy Farias was a perfect example of what they do with runaway kids. They'll search for you for a few days. You go, you get dusted off. If there's no information, you go collect dust in a filing cabinet. It is a sad process. It is a sad process that I think they need to do better on, but they don't, because they think when you're a teenager and you're gone from your home, you ran away. It is almost next to impossible to convince law enforcement otherwise. That's why I tell you, if you have an underage child that is a teenager that you know, you go down there, and if they're adults, you sit your ass in that, and I'm saying it just like that. God forgive me for saying that word, but you know what? You go sit your butt in a chair in that law enforcement building, and you do not leave until somebody takes you seriously. Because the older your children are, the less likely they give a damn. Period. And it's not that they don't give a damn. It's they're put it like this. I would say in a fairly medium-sized community, in one given week, you could probably have 100 missing children in one given week. Most of those kids are runaways, okay? You know, it's very seldom that you're usually dealing with custodial issues, you know, and most of it is custodial issues or runaways. What do I mean by that? It means like the courts deemed parents, you know, not being able to take care of their children, so they have to go either into the foster care or go stay with some family. And these parents are ordered not to see their children, and over time, you know, whether they have mental illness, drugs, or they just miss their children, they go and take the law into their own hands and go take their children, or they wait until there's a visitation and then they don't return the children, and they cause themselves additional grief and harm and cause even more time away from their children. But some people don't think about that. But there are the ones that are taken by predators. There are ones that are catfished, and there are some that are obviously preyed upon and hurt. So we've got to look at that. So this case right here, in the grand scheme of things, would have been a normal run-of-the-mill case. I mean, this should, in all reality, with the story we're giving, should be collecting dust in a filing cabinet. The chief, the lieutenant chief or deputy chief or whatever his name is, Eric Craddock, would be telling us all to go fly a kite. There's no information. There's no foul play. And, you know, call him if we see him walking, right? That's what Eric Craddock would tell us if this truly was not the level of investigation that it is. This is a 15-year-old child that walked out of his house. No big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. Don't get me wrong in what I'm saying, but no big deal. It happens every day. And we're not screaming foul play. It happens every day. So why in this case are we screaming foul play? Because there's foul play. That's why we're screaming foul play. I don't need a law enforcement officer to tell me that something stinks to high heaven. I can look at their behavior and know, based on the policies and procedures, they know the story stinks to high heaven. Just saying. Just saying. All right, let me get some questions for that segment, and then we're going to go on to a couple other talking points. Maui Girl, I believe it, because that's what they did to Katie's son, threw him, I guess I'm calling it in the middle of a conversation, Ginger, it's nice to see you, my love, because they have no room in the garage, right? And what is that about? I'm missing that. Let me go up just a little further and see what conversation you're talking about. Hold on here. Terry, oh, Terry, it's nice to see you, my love. Betty, I make a jalapeno jelly. Ooh. And a red sweet pepper jelly. Oh my gosh. Oh, Terry, you're singing to, you need to reach out to me. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. And I'd rather get it from one of my subs than Cracker Barrel, you know? Honestly. My friend makes an elderberry jam. She loves all the good stuff of elderberry. I think you did great on the interview with Seth, but if you was coming from a place of love, you treat all Sebastian's parents with you. In spiritual being, if you listen to me, if they were on my show, I'd treat them with the same amount of respect as I treated Seth. But when I'm doing commentary, I'm talking about reality, okay? And reality's ugly. And no, I think those parents are up to something. So why would I lie to my audience and lie to myself about that? If they were up on my show, spiritual being, I would have, the rules are exactly the same. The zero policy of people treating my guests like crap, that is absolutely provided to Chris and Katie. No different than Seth. The questions would, the itinerary, he would have been provided an itinerary, no different than Seth. My guests are treated exactly the same on my show. My commentary, on the other hand, is a different animal. I will speak to my audience realistically. I will speak to them about how I feel about the case. And I'm sorry, I will never keep my tongue in my mouth or keep my mouth silent when I think a parent has done horrible things. And quite frankly, I've got the platform where I can bring attention to that. These parents did horrible things. And, you know, maybe the rest of you are on the sidelines and just need a law enforcement to tell you. Well, see, there's the difference between my abilities and your abilities, because I investigate these things. I do this work. I'm a gonzo journalist. I'm an investigative journalist. I'm also an activist and advocate. So I don't need people telling me how to think or what to think or anything like that. I do the research. What comes from that research is what I give to my people. Okay? And based upon my research, Katie and Chris have lied. They've lied a lot, and there's no real good reason for it, while their son is missing. What do you think I'm going to do? Say, oh my God, Chris and Katie are the best parents in the whole world. If that is what you are seeking, no offense, this ain't the channel, honey. I don't lie to my audience. I don't make up stuff, and I tell it like it is, and I tell things that everybody is thinking but too scared to say, because I don't care what people think. If I think it, it's coming out of my mouth. And if people have a problem with it, you don't have to listen to it, engage in it, or watch it. And you certainly don't have to comment on it. Just saying. I would treat every single parent with, and I have. If you hear my commentary, I treat everybody. You have never, you cannot pinpoint one interview I have ever done where I have treated any of my panel guests with any type of disrespect, even people I don't like, including Don Wells. And I called Don Wells a gentleman and got my head almost chopped off for it. So there's my receipts. Just letting you know. I can believe it because that's what I did. I've already got there. Deanna, she didn't tell him crap. She probably ignored him and talked to out her shit show clown of a husband who abuses children first for 3 hours. Does she sleepwalk? That doesn't make sense, because I mean, their story. Who stays on the phone for 3 hours when the wife is sleeping? Like, when the conversation stops, I hang up. I don't know about the rest of you, but if we're not communicating, like if she's falling asleep and I'm hearing a dead, why am I opening a dead space? I remember one time Olivia and I were together and we were looking for something. And I remember she called her mom. And so her and I are looking on something. I think we looked, good Lord, for a half an hour or 45 minutes for whatever we were looking for. And then all of a sudden, Mom starts to just, like, scares us. She just starts talking. Oh, Ollie, I found this. And I'm like, ah! I'm like, where did that noise come from? Where's Mom? And it was because Olivia never hung up with her. We're all three searching, and we're all being quiet because we're all searching, trying to find something. Well, I forgot Olivia's mom was on the phone on speaker until she, starts, like saying she found something. It about scared the crap out of me. But I don't know of anybody that does that. Sweetie Pilo, how dare you speculate on set? Listen, spiritual being, you're not going to come in here and no. This is my chat. Let me just tell you the words here. You don't tell anybody what they can. I don't care if you don't like somebody, you are more than welcome to block them. But you're not going to start bringing your petty BS on my chat and in my channel. It ain't happening. I will tell you, I will nip that in the bud. If you want to participate and say your stuff, seems like you've been respectful, I will. But you start going after anybody, Sweetie Pilo, or anybody here on this channel, we're going to have a little bit of a problem. You're how dare you speculate? We're all speculating, including you, Pumpkin. Okay? Including you. because you're speculating these parents are pretty decent people, and they're not. Without one scintilla of information. Actually, all the information is going absolutely in the exact opposite spiritual being of what you are stating. Like literally. The evidence, I don't know where you're getting the evidence. There's CPS reports out the wazoo on Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot's home. Sounds like great people. So how dare you come into my chat? You don't know what happened, and quite frankly, Sebastian was SA'd under Katie and Chris's watch, or did you forget that? So I understand these are not pleasing topics for you, and maybe you don't want to look at them. But in all fairness, I see you're talking about SA. He was. There's a criminal record for it. Not for him, but for the assailant that hurt him. So, just be respectful, but I have a problem with people sticking up for, at this juncture, sticking up for Chris and Katie, because they're all, listen, I look at where people go. Where do they go on these internet streets to tell their story? If they go to cockroach channels that have maintained their platform for protecting bad guys, that tells me who they are. And this man and this woman are on all of those shows all the time, taking comfort from those heathens. And they're nasty and they vile. They got no education and no common sense. Anybody that goes to those channels for help is looking for dirty help. And that tells me exactly who they are. So whether you like it or not, I am a very, very analytical person. I'm a very behavior focused person. So I look at everybody's behaviors. I look at law enforcement's behaviors. I look at Chris and Katie's behaviors. I look at the people that are helping them's behaviors. I look at the behaviors, connect the dots, and figure out the web that they weave. And I'm pretty good at it. So I'm sorry, maybe you should stick around here a little more and be educated. But where you're getting your information is off. It's off base. It's incorrect, and you're helping people that hurt kids. And you look like a decent person, and I bet you have kids yourself. I doubt you would want to be or have the stigma of helping anybody that could possibly or potentially hurt a kid. I know for me, that's a no-go. You prove that you didn't do anything before I help you. And right now, I've given Chris and Katie every opportunity, and they refuse to prove it. They've had every opportunity, not just on this show, but all these shows that they feel comfortable for, to lay it out, to put their story out there. And they won't. 3 months. So I don't want anybody up here sitting there saying, I need to be giving them a break. You know what? Seth came out here and poured his heart to me. He answered my questions. He didn't cower out. He didn't run away. He didn't go to a cockroach channel and talk about soda pop and this pop and that pop. He came here and answered questions. Now, Chris and Katie don't have to answer my questions. But they ain't answering any questions. They're effing off on these channels. They ain't doing shit. And quite frankly, I'm getting sick and tired of people coming into my chat thinking I'm going to have a bleeding heart for these SOBs. It ain't happening. I know what I know, and I know what I know. They got a lot of explaining to do, and they ain't explaining enough. They've had every opportunity. They can bring it. Bring it. Bring it. We've given them every opportunity. They want to keep giving us the same petty crap bullshit that doesn't make sense. And they want to look like they're going to answer the tough questions, but they never really want to answer the tough questions, do they? Oh, well, we can't answer. Oh, we're ready for the tough questions. We're ready for the tough questions. Oh, well, we really can't answer that. That goes to the integrity of the investigation. Security, HIPAA. Okay. So you really ain't here trying to answer the questions, only the ones that you want to answer. So all the little whiny babies that are sitting there sucking the toes of the Proudfoots, go back. I don't want you here. Because you're idiots. We need smart people here. Smart people that do shit like this to help Sebastian. Not run their mouths about trying to make everybody feel guilty for calling these pieces of shit. Pieces of shit. They did something to their damn son. And somebody needs to speak up. So you can coddle and kowtow to them all they want. I don't give a shit at this point. I'm about to be knocking on their freaking front door. So, knock knock, bitches. I'm tired. And I'm sick of arguing with a bunch of idiots on these streets. Those Proudfoot people have answers that they need to provide. They're lying through their teeth. We know it. Law enforcement knows it. Building a case? Yeah. And I hope they burn their ass for making us all go through all this shit. No mercy. No mercy. But you know what? I bet you Katie, right? I bet she's used that for her benefit. I bet she's going to, when she gets busted, she's going to be up there. But you know, I was abused as a child. Right? I was abused as a child, so I took my child out. Give me mercy. So you knew what it was like, and then you perpetrated it on somebody else. You make me sick. You make me sick. That's okay. That's okay. Spiritual being, I think you got my thoughts on your statements. Just FYI. Just saying. And you know what the rest of y'all can do? You can kiss my white ass. You guys remember that? Bringing down the house? Bring it down the house. That's exactly what. Bring it down the house. I remember it with Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah and Steve Martin. Now that was funny. And you can kiss my white ass. Earth Dog, thank you. Thank you. Lots of us have been abused and haven't took it out on our own kids. Exactly. So here's Misty. Misty's always an active participant, which we appreciate. Thank you so much, Misty. Misty's my sugar papa. If you weren't here for that, don't ask. Why in Dutch's interview did she keep asking Chris and not asking Katie? Oh, that's why I picked this. And asking Katie these questions about the details the day before, the 25th into the 26th, when Chris supposedly was not there. Did he tell Dutchess to ask him the questions and not to ask Katie many questions? I mean, did Chris tell her which questions to ask him and which ones should be asked to Katie? And another thing, I noticed Katie starts to say something several times and she is cut off by either Dutchess or Chris, and sometimes both talk over Katie. That's a hell of annoying when Katie is the one who was there with Sebastian, not Chris, supposedly. A very good point. Well, we definitely know Dutchess spoke to them prior to. I don't know Dutch's methods of acquiring interviews or her interview process, their pre-interview process. Before the interview. I always like to have pre-interview process, but you know, other people on social media, they like it being raw. They like putting people on the spots in true crime, and you know, yeah, if you don't talk to them on a live, they will not talk to you. And for those creators that do that to people when they're going through true crime like this, they can suck it, because I think they're garbage anyways. And I'm intended for that to go to one person and one person only, and she knows who that is. I'm sure you have heard this before, but I think it's interesting that Chris wanted to clarify this misinformation. In other words, Chris wanted to make this crystal clear. He actually did not make that crystal clear statement on his information. But I'm kind of shocked that he didn't already know why he didn't. When he stated, I want to make this crystal clear, that's our cue to know Chris is about to lie. That is true. That is true. This video with the linked and time stamped. It's on Bed Crime Stories, where Duchess states Chris wants to clarify some information concerning the FBI being part of the investigation. I remember that. And he was basically stating that the FBI is not boots on the ground. He wanted to make sure that there is no real criminal investigation, because if the FBI was on the ground, that would, in his mind imply, I think that's where you're going with that. I can't play the video right this minute without reviewing it, and I did not have an opportunity to review it. So this is something that's bothering this particular person. We're going to call her L. Let me see if she's got a name. K3L. K3L. That's who she is. K3L. So I can K3LZ3Y. I don't know what if that's supposed to. But anyways, that's the name I can use. I just got to chat when you shut down, LOL. Always late, K3L. Anyways, this has been sticking in my brain when I had to punch in and out. Oh, that's why. Because I think we talked about this, and this is an interesting talking point, and then we'll go to chat. When I had to punch in and out in my teen years, we would do it for each other, and the employer didn't know. Even if it was an app nowadays, the employer checks IP. There's always a way around it. Not sure how computer savvy CP is. Regardless, he still could have had someone sign in with his credentials. I think I told you, sorry. I'm also following you on Facebook. Let me see here. I thought I heard you say you might be coming to New York. Not sure if I heard you right. Yes, I will be in New York. I think I'm going to be in Manhattan. I don't think Katie overdrugged him on purpose, but she did overdrug him. I believe that's the only way to break this case. I don't know with proof where CP was that night, definitely. But she brings up New York. It has these sign-in cameras, and it's kind of funny because, it's the same Laura. That just reminded me. So we had some sign-in cameras, and so I was looking at, somebody had sent me some links, and I just realized it was the same person that had sent me these traffic cam links. So thank you so very, very, very much. Okay. So what do you guys think about... I just went up too high. The clock-in thing. Does anybody know how those big constructions clock in? Do they actually have a physical clock in? Do they clock in on their phone? Do they physically have a punch card? Do we know? Oh, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. God bless you. My boyfriend just said he had a dependable truck right now. He would be there at their door too, Betty. Yeah. I want to know what happened that day. I want to know from their words. I'm sick of this, people dancing around. Like, what happened that day? Where did you go? Who was with you? What was Sebastian's state of mind? What did he do when he got home? These simple questions. Did he take a shower when he got home? What was his routines to go to bed? Did he take a shower, brush his teeth, change his clothes? Why was he in street clothes instead of pajamas? I've got a lot of questions that they're not answering, and we're 3 months into this, and they've been on a whole host of panels, especially here lately, on trash channels and hate channels. Trash channels and hate channels. And you're wondering why we're stink-eyeing them. Because they're not acting right as parents of a missing, medically needed boy that has had his mother. He has needed his mother his entire stinking life. And you know what he has always gotten? Definitely not a mom. Mom ran away when he was a baby. She took care of him when she had to. She's had him for 8 years. And then all of a sudden, she just can't deal with him anymore. The first 7 years of his life, it seems like dad was taking care of him. The last 8 years of his life, mom was taking care of him. And what is the ending result? Just saying. My personal opinion, the 3-hour-long convo. KP, well, KP just, yeah. So my personal opinion, the 3-hour-long convo between KP and CP was while CP was disposed of Sebastian's remains. Since day one, this has been my belief. So that would imply that it would have happened earlier in the day. It's possible, I guess, with the theory of him leaving at midnight. I don't know. It's interesting. Smoky Mountain Girl, I don't know. Does LE or TBI have video of Chris at work the 25th or 26th? Great question. What does a job site have? But I do know that his crane, I've learned about these cranes, and these cranes record your every movement. So the data from the crane that he was on would be able to tell when he cranked that crane up, when he started that crane. It records all of his movements and all of his whatever he does inside that crane. From my understanding, it may actually even be able to tell whether he's sitting in the seat or not. I think the seat has actually a sensor. If somebody is not in it, it knows that somebody is not in the seat. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Deanna, I agree. No one mentions his flirting much. Says a lot about him. Oh, that one, what was it? Was he on Terry Lynn or something? That was a Hot Mess Express interview with how he was talking to her. But she kind of went off on him. I mean, God bless her. I wish I could. I can't do that because I just can't. You know, people would, I don't know. I've never been accustomed to interviewing people and like completely trashing them in the interview. I don't know. It's just not, to me, I can't do that. So, who's to say it wasn't someone else that clocked him in and did it? Yeah, and that's what she's implying, because we're hearing some mixed information on it. We're hearing that he was there at 5:15, but he didn't start until 7. You see what I'm saying? So it makes you wonder if that's true. You know, we gotta understand that we gotta take a grain of salt with some of this stuff, because it's not there's no way for us to corroborate it without somebody from the employer acknowledging it. If they're not acknowledging it or they're shutting people down, we can't verify it. I haven't attempted to try that information because I don't want to, I haven't attempted to try anything. All I've been doing is talking about the case and reviewing maps. I've got ideas of where I'm going to go, who I'm going to speak to, But those things are my, those are, working, that's my work product. That's my, active work. So we'll see where that leads, but I have a funny feeling we're going to be getting some answers. I think we need to look back and see all the things Chris won't ask, like the work van and the meds he hollered HIPAA. Bear, you're right. While we're joking about it, maybe you're right. We need to, instead of joking about it, just hone in on one of those questions, because those are the questions he doesn't want to answer. At this point, what difference does it make? That's the way I look at it, with the truck. And I think Nancy Grace is on the same vein when she asked them the question about the truck, and it's like, but it's in the public. Like, hasn't it been plastered, like, literally across newspaper articles at this point? Like, everybody knows it's a Sprint truck. Really? It seems so stupid and petty at this point. And that's what I look at. It's something stupid and petty. And why are they being stupid and petty about this, My ex-father-in-law was an over-the-road crane operator. Listening to how things work now amazes me how fast things change and fit. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I have worked at places with fingerprint logins, stop attendance fraud. Oh, yeah. Fingerprint logins. Good point, because I worked for the government and clocked my friend in one time when she was running late. Low key. Yeah, I think we all have done it. I really do. I really do. I think we've all, helped a friend out, you know, because they're running late. They need to get there. They don't want to get written up, you know. I think we've all done that. I think Katie has a bonding disorder with Sebastian since she was gone after he was born. Sebastian was left with his dad. She wouldn't have the connection that fits her disconnection. Yeah. There's definitely something there. She definitely did not bond well with Sebastian. I think we can all, you know, pretty much agree to that. Rodney from Australia, it's nice to see you. Oh, oops, what was that? Just went up on me. There we go. He can't go and get in it. He has to sign in on site with the foreman. The foreman on site gets keys or codes to operate. He has to log in his hours. Oh, interesting. So, and that might be that guy. That might be that guy. So, there we go. Take that out. And then, yep, my job, you have to be in the location before you clock in, and you can do it on your phone or in the building on the time clock with your number. So, also very sus of KP, seems frightened of losing his job. All right, so now we're going to go on to that. That was interesting about the clock. The time clock. Could it have happened, you know, 5:15? You know what? It seems like, I don't know if people really, in all fairness, like Chris Proudfoot too much. You know, I don't know if he was really liked on his job. It seems like his foreman was the one that said he didn't get into the crane until 7, and that he had to kick him off the job because of his bad attitude that day. He was in such a bad attitude that they kicked him off the job. He didn't ask to leave to go home because his son was missing, or his stepson was missing. From this foreman that made these posts, he said that he had to kick him off of his crane and get somebody to go to do his job because of his attitude. So, and that's what makes me wonder if that was a troll or somebody, you know, manufacturing stuff against Chris. But the more we're going through this, you know, that happened months ago when those statements were made. And now that we're going through it, those are still sticking around. You know, there's a lot of information like the mattress in the garage and the pressure cleaner spraying Sebastian and all this other stuff was all smoke and mirrors. And shame on those creators that didn't question that better and peddled that stuff, you know. But again, the creators that I thought were good, I'm finding out are nothing more than you know, what people say. So I don't know what to do about that. Hey, cheeky chaps, good morning. You missed breakfast. I had some blackberry jam on toast and a salted caramel latte. I'm still drinking. I'm probably gonna have another one. Anonymous tip line, thank you for Sonia. Let me just go ahead and pin that up here. We're almost done with our show, so I've got a lot more to go over, but now we're getting into more long-winded talking points, and so that'll be later. That will be for later this afternoon when we start getting into the rest of these talking points. We may have some additional talking points by this afternoon because the emails, you guys have been amazing and have been sending me stuff. I can't respond to all of them and I can't bring all of these up to on the show. And the way I kind of look at them is whether we've discussed the topic of conversation in the past or not. And if we have talked about it in the past or not, could we use a refresher on it? And so sometimes you know, your information is good and spot on, but we've already had a discussion about it that was similar in nature. So I look at all those things as well. So just if I bring up yours, great. If I don't, you know, I try, just let me know if you want me to use your name or not use your name, because I won't use your name for those, because I know I have a lot of people that watch from the bushes and still want to be a participant. And this is a way for them to be a participant, is to send me emails. And some of them want to stay anonymous, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So thank you guys for everything. Oh, thank you, Kelly. I got some ice cream money. Thank you, love bug. Thank you, thank you. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you a little later today. Probably, what time is it? It's still really early. So I would say probably around noon. I've got to still do TikTok, and then We might do a live at noon. We might do it a little after. I'm not sure. But I think I like the, closing out with like maybe just an evening. I've enjoyed just sitting and chatting with you guys in the evening, not really having an agenda or any really talking points, just allowing the chat to have the conversation and letting the conversation kind of go where it goes. I really enjoy that. So I may start opening up. It may not be every night, but I think maybe at night around 8 o'clock or so that I might start just doing that, where we can just get together and chat, and we can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be crime related at all. It just just a chill time. So I think I've really been enjoying that. It's helped me unwind at night before I go to bed. So I like it. Anyways, guys, thank you for coming, and we'll see you soon, okay? Have a great day. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless.